Welcome back to Timberborn. In our last episode, we did an experiment with windmills to see if a high altitude windmill and a low altitude windmill were different from each other in terms of their output, their reliability, and it looks like no, they actually are the same. It doesn't matter where you stick them. La Coalición made a point at the very end of the last episode that in Tropico, windmills actually do perform differently at different altitudes, and it really does matter. And he says that Timberborn sounds more epic than what it is. So it's an interesting thing about Timberborn is that it's like a lot of what makes this game fun is sort of the proposal for the fantasy of what you're doing. Like they've said, hey, you're going to be beavers, like post-apocalyptic beavers, building a town where physics and fluid dynamics and verticality matters, and that by itself is such a great fantasy that even if not every single thing works the way like you imagine it could work mechanically, even if they keep the mechanics fairly simple, just the grandeur of the pitch of what you're trying to do is actually kind of inspiring enough. I kind of don't mind that these windmills are equally effective and that I can just aesthetically decide to put them high up because I like it. There's enough room in this game for me to do things because I like them, even if they aren't functional. Now, if that actually was a strategically valuable thing, I might feel even just a little bit more inspired by it. I mean, you can kind of go back and forth about whether it's... I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not necessary that they make the windmill height differences matter. It would be a nice addition. Like, if me putting a windmill up high did matter to its output, that would be a nice addition for me. Like, it would make the game more fun, but I don't think the game is hindered by the fact that that's not the case. Oh, hey, Santa Hot Pot is here. Hey there. So Santa Hot Pot says, no Bob Crosby in the background radio when refreshing Nuka-Cola tonight? Damn. Yeah, so I was playing some Fallout 4 yesterday, but today it's all Timberborn all the time. So, our ambitions for today. We would like to at least lay the groundwork of a southern district. I've decided this is south. I don't know. A southern district that can build a dam that will eventually water this territory over here where I can get metal. So it's going to take a bit of doing. We're going to keep the beavers running in the background. We've got a drought approaching, which I think we can still manage. We've been increasing our population of beavers, which means they're drinking more, which means that they'll be sucking water, or at least they'll be sucking water out of their storage more. I don't think it's going to make a difference to our ability to survive the drought. Not yet. Not until I start needing to place more water pumps to keep up with them. But as you can see, my water storage is all full, which means I'm making a profit on water. I need to keep an eye on my food. I was worried that we weren't producing enough food, but it does seem like we're climbing. We were at 700 at the end of the last episode, and now we're at 800. Of course, it's the middle of the day. It's in the evening where you need to check it to see right after the beavers have eaten. Or at least, basically, you tend to build up food during the day, and then they eat a bunch at night. Then you build it up during the day, and they eat a bunch at night. So if you want to tell if your amount of food is going up or down, you have to check it at the same time each day. So let's see. So Cog says, Colony Sim question. Most seem to have a focus on construction where the people are always working. Are there any games in which the construction gets in the way of the daily lives of non-worker people? Interesting. Yeah, so like in real life, basically, where, they're doing road construction in your area, and then suddenly, like, all the traffic is worse, and it's just hard to do normal things. I think I'm not aware of one that we're just, like, having construction around hinders normal life, normal behavior. Definitely the fact that, at some points I was, like, deleting and replacing stuff, that did have an effect, because I would eliminate routes and have to replace those routes. By the way, I think I'm going to add another kind of decoration, which is a shrub. Stick that up there to make it look all cute. But no, I'm getting distracted by decor. What I want is to build a district down here. So, we're going to start by plotting out our route. I want to start here. I guess here. We'll start here. And we'll build a staircase down, like this. And we'll extend the path. How do I want to do this? I guess I'll cling to the wall, because this is the area that's the least likely to get watered. And I don't want to get in the way of the water. So then right here, probably build... let's do a staircase right there. I just don't want to waste this little weird corner here, so let's put a staircase there. And go out there. Okay, so... At some point, you reach a place where your path no longer is close enough to your district. And the beavers won't do jobs that take them further away from the district center. I don't know where that end is going to be. It's going to be somewhere along this path. You'll see sort of this green line that tells you how easy it is for the beavers to get around. That green line will start turning red and then end at some point on this path. I don't know where, but that's where we're going to want to put our district boundary, or somewhere around there. We're going to want to let that information inform where we put our district boundary. So I'm going to accelerate the beavers so they can build this more quickly. How are we doing on planks? We got lots of planks. We're doing good on planks. Oh, and it looks like... Wait a minute. Wait, did I build 2 different trees by accident? That's a maple. That's a chestnut! Oh, I didn't mean to plant a chestnut. Oh, garbage. Okay, hold on. We're killing these chestnuts. That was not what I intended to do. I meant to build maples here. Okay, I think that's all the chestnuts. These chestnuts are early enough that I think it's just, rather than letting them grow and then replacing them, I think that it's better to just chop them down and just start again with new seedlings. Oh, hey, so the coalition is pointing out that apparently if you have Game Pass, Vigor is giving things away to people who have Game Pass. So that's cool. I might actually have to log into Vigor again for the first time in a while, because I've been so obsessed with Zomboid lately. Like, the times of my day that I would normally play Vigor, I've just been playing Zomboid. So it looks like we've got 2 undone jobs. We got 9 beavers trying to age up. How close are my child beavers to aging up? 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them are fairly close. Most of them are not. So there's not a lot of green land over here for a district to support itself. But once we have a dam over here, we will. You'll notice that the greenness, it spreads out to a different degree based on the height above the water. So you can see the greenness is spreading out here, but it doesn't climb this. It does, but so basically, the higher the water goes, the further out the greenness is going to spread. And that's what's going to determine where we can build things. Okay, so they were actually able to build that. So how far does our path go? Let's see. Okay, so it makes it all the way to this staircase and then stops. So I don't think I want to build my district gate on the other side of the staircase. I'm going to want to build the district gate. Actually, maybe that's what this spot is for right here. Maybe that is for my district gate. Okay, I need to delete it first. And to build my district gate. Okay, so what I just did was, you'll see now the red line ends at the district gate. So this district, its use of this road network ends right here. And now there's room on this side for me to start a new district. Oh, by the way, the drought just started, so we'll have to keep our eye on that, right? We've got plenty of water stored up here behind the Grand Dam, so I think we'll be okay. But we need to pay attention to when these crops start drying up. Because, yeah, already, look at this. This is all dried up. There's just nothing here now because the water's gone away. So let's slow down the beavers and then figure out how we want to build this district. So we have got, again, okay, we've got 3 unemployed beavers. Eventually, we're going to need enough beavers to build a dam. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is just build a dam with these beavers. And then later on, once the water level rises enough, we'll try to make this place self-sustaining. But right now, it'll be an utterly dependent colony. On this other place. So, and 2 things we might, I'm trying to think. Do we just want to do a dam right here? Or do we want to have is there a reason for us to have a dam on this side? I don't know if there actually is a reason for that. I'm not, because yeah, if we build the dam here, all that will be, it'll have the same positive effect on the green land over here as if we build a dam here, only Letch will be more resilient because it'll have more storage for water all the way up there. So yeah, I don't think there's a reason to build a dam here. I should just focus on building a dam there. I'll need a bridge to get over to that dam. But yeah, and actually, that'll be an interesting challenge too, just getting the beavers over there. This is going to be an interesting engineering challenge, and I'm here for it. So anyway, step 1 is to build the actual district center. And so I think that is this little star symbol here. So we're going to build our district center right here on the cliff, just because that looks neat. And then we're going to need a place for our new incoming beavers to live. And, okay, so just to make sure, okay, we know we're going to want paths around this so that we can build other buildings around it. We're also going to want a staircase that goes down to this bottom level. Like this and like that. And then, would it be better to build an actual bridge across here? I guess it doesn't matter that much. I've got a lot of science. So building a suspension bridge across a gap might be just fine. We can put stairs here, here, and here. So no one's going to build this for a while. I'm just sort of like setting things up so I know what the shape of this place is going to be. And then our dam. So how high do we want our dam to be? We want beavers to be able to travel this route, which means we only want... Oh, yeah, that's right. And we also want beavers to be able to live over here. So this height right here and right here, that's how high we want our dam to be. So that means that this level right here is actually a little bit higher than the dam level. So how does that compare? So look, this is like about 3 high over here, which means we're going to want to go only 2 high with our dam over here. That's not too bad at all, actually. I thought we were going to build like some super tall dam, but it looks like we can actually get a lot done with very little. So let's see. So I think if we want it to be too high, that means we want to have a levee, 1 layer of levee, and then a layer of dam. Like this. Oh, and actually, this doesn't need to be levee. This can be more dam. Right? Is that... No, wait. No, that's wrong. No. We need to go 2 up from here. That's right. Okay, never mind. I messed that up. So let's demolish this layer. By the way, it's very smart in how it lets you sort of demolish entire layers of things. There. Then the dam goes at this level. Now, one thing we might want to consider is that it's entirely possible that I'm going to want to be able to drain this at some point. I don't know why exactly I'd want to drain it, but that is a possibility, which means it would probably be smart for me not to have the entire thing be that height, but rather to have like a gate here where I can let the water through if I want to. And so that means I'll put floodgates here. And then, because the floodgates block travel, I'm going to want to build like a walkway behind it. So we'll just... Actually, does it need to be this height? I mean, I guess it'll be underwater if it's not this height. So, yeah. Yeah, it does. And then once the water fills up, I'm going to want this. I won't be able to use this to get there. So I need to build sort of another route to get players up to it. So first off, let's figure out how this route works. Because we need a spot where we can stick stairs. So stairs here, stairs there. So this is how, like, while we're constructing the dam, this is how it works. But once we have constructed the dam, we're going to want a different way to get back home. What does that way look like? I'm wondering. Okay, actually, you know what I want to do? I'm being just weird about this. Oh, hey, let me while I'm letting this cook in the back of my head, Average Switch User had a State of Decay comment that he was making. So I'm going to read that real quick. So he says, if later in the franchise the plague is still present, then the hazmat suit should grant you high plague resistance. By the way, if you watched the last Timberborn episode, this is a question that Average Switch User has been hyping that he's about to ask me. So, we grant you high plague resistance. I believe bloaters will still be in the game. Then you can walk through gas as much as you want with the hazmat suit on. And this will also apply to the plague heart's gas that it emits. Yeah, that would make sense. He says the cons, when wearing a hazmat suit, you gain encumbrance no matter if you're carrying nothing. And vision can be hard to get right. But trying to simulate the restricted vision of a hazmat suit would be really difficult. It could definitely give you worse stamina usage. That makes sense. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, that's an interesting question. So the idea that a hazmat suit would restrict your vision, that would work in Project Zomboid, where they already have an entire system set up around restricting the player's vision. Restricting vision in State of Decay 2 I think that might be really tough. I mean, I could see, for instance, if you're using your stamina a lot and you're fatigued, fogging up the screen might be a way that you could sort of simulate the idea of not being able to see as well with a hazmat suit. I could see something like that working. But yeah, I think you have kind of nailed sort of on the broad scale. I think you have nailed like what would be cool about a hazmat suit, which is that you could basically pay some kind of cost, like ongoing stamina, that sort of thing, in order to prevent. Basically in order to prevent damage from plague. So like you'd want to pay a high cost because avoiding damage from plague is such a powerful tool that you wouldn't want to just hand that to the player, because it's like, oh, well, obviously every character should have a hazmat suit. Like, we don't want that to be the case, right? We don't want it to be obvious that every player needs a hazmat suit. We want it to be a choice. And so, yeah, no, that's a good idea. I like the way you've approached that. No guarantees about whether that'll ever be in the game, but I think it's a good idea. So, what I'm doing is trying to figure out what I want the final bridge to look like. So I think what I want the final bridge to look like is like that. Above the water level, connecting back. Let's finish the path. Connecting back over here like this. And so now I need to figure out what the original path is going to look like. So the original path is probably going to take, like when they're constructing this, going to take them over here. And then we'll want to, I'm just going to do that for now. We're going to want to do something like this. So this is like foolishly expensive and inefficient, but I kind of have a special place in my heart for it. So that's our plan right there. We're going to build this elaborate dam. And and so we're going to have one route to get there before it's built, another route to get there after it's built. And I think I'm going to deprioritize the after route just a little bit. So let's deprioritize this whole deal because it's not necessary until the rest of the dam is built. So they'll build basically the whole dam in order, and then they'll build this. Okay, so we've got our plan. By the way, how's the drought going? Okay, it looks like we still got water, but it is getting very, very low. It also looks like we got 2 unemployed beavers and 2 beavers not working. Wait, what? 2 places with no work and also 2 beavers. Well, I have an idea. Why don't these two beavers go work in these two places? That would make sense to me, right? Oh, wait, no. Those two places, if you click on a district center, or I think maybe even any building in a district, it'll restrict this display to just that district. So the reason those two beavers are working there is because this district is where those two jobs are, and there's no beavers working in this district right now. So if we want beavers to work in this district, which we eventually do, we need to give them homes. So, and we also need to give them some means of getting supplies. So I'm going to first build okay, so the distribution post and the drop-off point are both necessary if you want to be able to sort of transmit goods from one beaver place to another. And honestly, like, unless you're building in a place that has berries, this is the only way to build a new district. Like these things are locked. It's weird that it's interesting to me that the district center is unlocked from the outset, but it's crazy to build one unless you can build the distribution post and the drop-off point. So basically, the drop-off point is a place where beavers from other districts can bring things to your local district, drop them here into storage, and then the beavers who live here can pick them up again and add them to their own storage. So we'll need that. And then at this side, in order to send anything there, this side needs to have what's called a distribution post. It needs to have, it looks kind of like a little bazaar where the local beavers sort of can gather things to send to other places. So where does this go? Oh, it almost fits here. Oh, it almost fits here, but it doesn't quite fit. Dang. So it might make sense to sort of build this out on the edge, but basically, okay, the closer it is to the stuff that you can get, the more efficiently it can go grab things. But then, honestly, I don't know if it makes much of a difference. And actually, this spot right here is kind of perfectly shaped for it, so I'm just going to stick it right there. If we ever decide to flood this area, we're in trouble, but I don't think we are planning to do that, so. Oh, wait, I didn't complete this path here. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I totally fell behind. So, by the way, Santa Hot Pot says, this is so Minecraft looking, it makes me want to play some. Does it make you want to play Minecraft, or does it make you want to play Timberborn? Because Timberborn is great. Oh, so Orthouse is suggesting other ways that a hazmat suit might sort of hinder you in State of Decay 2 if we were to add it, including things like a penalty to shooting or all attacks being slower no matter what. And by the way, a lot of these downsides, one of the reasons they would be necessary, really necessary in State of Decay 2, is because right now there are no mechanical advantages or disadvantages to wearing particular outfits. And so basically, if we gave an outfit some kind of special power, we would need to give it a strong disincentive because the outfits are free. And so, if players just have access to this, there would need to be a reason why they don't choose it for every single character. And that's sort of the challenge, because you want, your characters to look different from each other. You don't want to put one thing in the game that just everyone automatically puts on. If we had a system whereby, you could, there's a difference between, the sort of the free outfits that anyone can put on if you've unlocked them, and, having a specific outfit that only one person can wear. Say, you found a hazmat suit on the map, and there's only, one or two in the loot system. And so you only have the one, you have to decide who wears it. That makes it a little bit more interesting, and you don't have to give it as many negatives as you would if wearing a hazmat suit is free and anyone can do it, and you sort of want to keep the fantasy intact. Okay, so now that they've actually cleared out those chestnut trees, I can actually switch these to maples for reals now. So let's plant a bunch of maples. There we go. We get this, just a few little birch trees just still hanging out, but whatever. Oh, we should definitely chop those down. So yeah, the birch trees do very slowly spread on their own if you're not planting them, though it is very, very slow. I should probably... So the reason I left this open was because I wanted to put a path here in case we ever wanted to go this direction. Didn't want to have to cut down a whole bunch of trees. I should probably put the path there now to reserve it so that other trees don't grow there. Okay, yeah, so... somebody, oh, who was it? Oh, yeah, Harry Trich points out if you had hazmat suits in State of Decay 2, you could just put it on and just drive through a million bloaters and just not care. That would actually be kind of fun to be just driving a car around that's just streaking with bloater gas, and you're just too badass to worry about it. Okay, so we're waiting for materials here. We need 15 planks, we need 15 logs, and it just takes time for the beavers to get here. But let me, oh, crap. Okay, so the drought is having its effect. Let's lower the Grand Dam. Bring the water back. One thing I should have considered while I was building this staircase is that we've got a little bit of space here that beavers could plant on if they had access to it. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? This is so stupid, but I'm absolutely going to do that. I'm going to get rid of this path in its current state. And I'm going to extend it by 1, like this, entirely so that there's a spot where the beavers can step off and plant more crops. Put a little path here. Probably put a little storage here. So the coalition says is making fun of the fact that I'm saying that all survivors should not have the same clothing, and he's like sheepishly looking at his community and saying, "Oh, all of my survivors have the same clothing." But there's a difference between allowing you to dress all the survivors the same if you want to, versus making it feel like the game is telling you this is the only way to play. And that's what I'm talking about, trying to avoid, is making it so that it feels like, according to the game, there's only one way to play, and that way is to give all your survivors the same clothing. That's boring. Nobody wants to play that. People do want to play a game where they have the option to dress everyone the same if they've got some particular outfit in mind that they think would be cool or just matches their brand or something. Like, I'm imagining, do all your characters look like wait, no, we never gave a gas mask, so they couldn't look like your coalition cartoon because your coalition cartoon has a gas mask on. Okay, so we've got a distribution post now. So that means that, okay, and I've got 4 beavers working there. So the way that this works is we basically set some needs for this district. We say, okay, this district at the minimum wants to have 100 berries. And well, let's keep the maximum. Actually, let's just go 50. They want 50 berries, and they'll take up to 100. But they want 50 berries, and they want 50 carrots. There's not going to be that many living here. They also want to have 50 water. So as long as this district does not have 50 of each of these things, it's going to be asking for those things from the other district. And then we also are going to need a bunch of logs and planks in order to build. So let's say that they want to have, at any given time, at least 20 planks. And we'll cap that one at 40. And at any given time, they want to have logs. They want to have, let's do more logs. Let's say 40 logs. Okay, so we've set those limits. And so that means that the other place, if we give it a trade route, is going to want to be moving those things over here. So let's give it a trade route. So basically say, okay, send here. What do we want to send here? We want to send berries here. You know what else we want to be sending here? Carrots. You know what else we want to be sending here? Water. You know what else? Logs. And you know what else? Planks. Now, there's a risk they're going to send too much of the wrong thing. So actually, I'm going to cancel the carrots one. We don't need carrots instantly. So basically, they're sending for 4 different things. And I think we've got room in this. This thing can handle up to 300. So I think this can hold all of that stuff. So once the beavers working in the distribution post have passed all those items over here, we've got like a little nest egg. We'll start building up this district and moving other beavers into it. But again, I think that we might still not have enough beavers here. And it looks like we're kind of treading water on food, too. Like, our food is hovering around just barely over 700. How are we doing with... Okay, if we start making too much of a profit on potatoes, we might want to build another one of these. And actually, yeah, because we probably need more food. I'm going to... Oh, by the way, okay, so it looks like we are collecting sunflower seeds, but we're not... We're eating them all as we get them. We don't have a lot of farms. I guess we've got this dandelion field up here. I'm not even really sure what dandelions are for. It does look like... Okay, we're full up on berry storage, and so we could store more berries if we're nervous. Because sometimes your food production will go down because your people are eating the stuff so fast. Sometimes your food production will go down because they've actually capped out their storage. I think that's actually our problem. It's not that we need to produce more food. It's that we've capped out our storage. And so we need to be able to store more food. So if that's the case, then what we probably want to do, just to verify that this is right, is build some more storage. Right, this won't really fit here, but we can make it fit. We can build more storage. I'm just going to connect this whole thing because I am wasteful. We're going to build some more storage. And let's see, we're going to build some more storage here. And then let's get... Now, do we actually want to go... You know, we don't... Do we need this? I mean, do we need it? No. Do we ever need anything? No. But I kind of like this. I like actually being connected over here. This is like good territory for me to expand into. Oh, and actually, I could irrigate. I'll think about that in a minute. But point is, what I really want is to build access to this. It doesn't get in the way of other stuff. So it'll look like that. Let's extend a bunch of paths. This is stupidly expensive. This is a silly way for me to be operating right now. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we're going to have those beavers working at the post, or they're going to be bringing stuff over here tomorrow once they wake up. We'll also be building more food storage just to verify that we actually are producing enough food to support an outside colony. And then another thing that we could do is actually build a larger apartment. So you can actually build these like triple lodges that can hold 9 beavers, and their entrance is on the 2nd story. Which I think is kind of fun because it kind of makes you build vertically. Oh, crap. Low on water again. Let's lower this again. Drought's almost over. So this is a longer drought, I think, than last time. I think that's why we ran out of water twice. But luckily, we've got the Grand Dam, so we're fine. How are we doing on planks? Yeah, we've been building up planks in the background, so we actually do have enough stuff to make this work. And look at this. 100 berries, 8 logs, 27 planks, water. So this is unbalanced. So now that we've got that, what we want to start doing is planning out what we're going to build in this district. But one of the first things we're going to want is the ability to pull berries out of here so we can get more logs into it. Is this place... Yeah, well, eventually we could. I was trying to think, like, will we ever be doing lumber stuff here? I mean, we can do some temporary lumber stuff, but not really. So I'm just trying to figure out how much log storage we actually need here. But one thing we're definitely going to want is food storage. So let's build a nice little food storage right there. Let's build a home for our beavers. Right there. And there's no particular reason I have to think about building vertically right now. I like to... I'll sort of keep in mind the fact that we're going to want to build vertically eventually. But, yeah. So, okay, let's also build some storage for logs and planks. Just some minor storage for logs and planks. And then let's also build... We'll need some water storage here too. So we'll build some... Where do we want to stick the water storage? I guess it is actually... You know what? Let's delete these. This is a stupid ticky point. It's not really going to make a difference, but practically, it's good to have water storage near your homes. Also, aesthetically, I like the idea of having the water storage near the homes. So then, so this is going to be logs. This is going to be planks. These are both going to be water. And then, oh, carrots. Carrots is the other thing that we're bringing in from the outside. So let's have carrots. Yeah, so we're going to build a nice big colony over here. Or just, sorry, a nice big foundation, I mean to say, for eventually having a very tall thing. So we'll do that, and then we should have room for more beavers than this. So let's build another apartment. And so this is going to be carrots. Where's carrots? There's carrots. This is going to be berries. And so basically our plan is, we know that there are 5 resources we're bringing in. Berries, carrots, logs, planks, water. We want to give them all their own storage here, so they can be pulled out of the drop-off point, so that the drop-off point can then receive more goods. One problem I've had before trying to build districts is, if I used my drop-off point as my primary storage, it doesn't do a good job of differentiating between like what you want more of, what you want less of. So there was one point in particular where it filled up with food, and then I couldn't get logs into the town. And unfortunately, the logs were what I needed in order to build the storage for the food. And so I was basically getting like a handful of logs at a time, this little tiny trickle of logs, until I got my berry storage built, and then I pulled out all the berries from the drop-off point, and that worked. Anyway, okay, let me just quickly... Okay, I think there's still State of Decay 2 discussion going on here. Oh, Cog says he thinks a hazmat suit of all clothing should require being in a base or at least at an outpost. It's weird that survivors just carry a closet with them around everywhere they go. That's true, actually. If we ever did put functional clothing in to State of Decay, we would want that, like, clothing that provides some actual advantage. We would definitely want that clothing to not be something you just swap on and off at any time, any place. Because I don't know, it just feels really weird to just sort of have this, like, pocket full of every useful thing you could possibly want. Planning ahead and preparing yourself is a huge part of the experience. So yeah, I think if we did a State of Decay game that had, like, protective gear that you could wear as an inventory item, like a discrete inventory item that you could equip, I think that we would definitely want to set it up so that there's one place where you change into it. Oh, I forgot to label these as this is holding more of this, and this is holding more of that. So yeah, so okay, look, we're instantly our food intake is going up because we suddenly have room to store berries. Berries are filling up. And so we're starting to harvest berries. And not only are the berries filling up here, but also berries are filling up over here. And so suddenly we've got more food. So good. That means that our food production is... Oh, gosh. Okay, we've only got less than a day. We got a third of a day of this drought. But I'm starting to get a little worried. I think we might need to at least up our water storage so that we can sort of pump more water out over time. My water storage is getting weirdly low. But let's see, we do have 40 gears. And because we have 40 gears, that means that we can probably build one of the larger water storage items. So let's... Okay, so the drought has ended. That means we've officially got water coming through here. So because we've got enough water down here, let's just raise the dam all the way up in one fell swoop. Start filling up the reservoir again. And then... Oh yeah, you can see the green is spreading out as the reservoir fills. And then it takes so little time to fill this reservoir, that just means it's not a very full reservoir. Once we've got this district built down here, we should probably have a really nice water pumping thing over here that actually shares water back to this district. So we'll see if this district can pump enough water out to fill these storages. And if it does, then that's cool. It means we can add another storage and still fill it up too. All right, so we do not have any unemployed beavers. We've got some space for more beavers, but we don't have any unemployed beavers. They keep adding things like more food production capacity. And now we do have some beavers. Yeah, but we're going to need these guys to keep going. So we need more beaver apartments. Even more beaver apartments. So what I think I'd like to do is build them. Okay, let's try to connect. Ooh, okay, wait, hold on. I want to destroy this. So that I can build it in 2 layers. And have a path coming out here and a path coming out here. And the reason I want to do that is so that I can have a staircase coming down. Like that. And then reconnect that path. And that gives me sort of access on this side so that I can build the thing that I want to build, which is a weird thing. But it's fine. Actually, do I want to... shut up, Jeffrey. Okay, so I'm going to build one of these, one of these, and then on top of them, one of these. And so this is going to be one of those large... So this is going to hold 9 beavers. This will be 3. This will be 1. So we're going to have 13 beavers living in this place. So that's going to be a lot of beavers. That'll be enough beavers we can build up and then ship some over to the other district without worrying about losing too much capacity. So we want to make sure that... Wait, I don't like having these doors next to each other. It's kind of weird. I guess we'll do this. That's weird too. Okay, we're gonna do this. This is just my aesthetics, like... This is absolute foolishness. For some reason that looks better to me, so we're doing that. That's a bunch of beavers. I'm thinking we probably need more campfire space for all these beavers. So I'm going to add... Let me verify that assumption. Yes, we are low on campfire because not every beaver is getting a chance to do that activity. So I'm going to... And we're probably going to... I was just thinking we're going to build probably a rooftop terrace on top of that apartment at some point. So let's build some more campfire space here. Connect that up. See, no one can get here. That's fine. Prioritize that and prioritize the one underneath it. Okay. So we'll let the beavers build this. Hey there, Karakishi. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, so again, like, because we've already sort of established that in State of Decay 2, your outfits are an arbitrary thing that you can just put on and off whenever you want. The chances of us actually adding that particular feature, the hazmat suit idea, to State of Decay 2 is pretty minimal. But I really like getting the feedback about what you like about that idea, because, you know, it's entirely possible that we could keep that in mind and then use it elsewhere. Oh, okay, so we are not making a profit on water. Our water is going down. So that's a problem. How do we solve that? So the problem is if we pull any more water out of this, I mean, we basically had to take this almost all the way down in order to keep filling this. We cannot keep pulling water out like that. What we need to do, honestly, is finish this dam here, so we can start pulling water out from over here. So, yeah, this is actually kind of problematic. Like, we're gonna need to accelerate our plans. So, right now, we don't have enough extra beavers. But okay, the only job that beavers are doing over here, though, we only need 4 beavers to do this job. So we'll see what that impacts. Let's migrate population. So basically, let's rename our districts real quick. So this is the I'll call this place Grand Fork. No, because I'm gonna call the other one Grand Dam. No, we're not. So yeah, we'll call this Grand Fork. It's just easier to remember names that you've given something than just District 1, District 2. And this one is it's Cogstown. Because, you know, it's where we make the gears. It's Cogstown. Okay, so now that we know exactly what everything is, we're going to migrate population from Cogstown to Grand Fork. So we're going to send 4 adult beavers to Grand Fork. So now the game assigns 4 beavers to live here in Grand Fork. 3 of them have houses here. 1 of them will not. But now that they're here, they're gonna. So this one was just barely within building range of beavers from the other district. These beavers are now going to use the logs and planks collected here to build up the rest of this stuff. And actually, we should prioritize mildly the stuff that they need for their actual little community before they start building the stuff for the actual dam. But basically, the only jobs in this town are these 4 builder jobs. So these beavers will be doing nothing but building, and all of their food is going to come from the outside. All of their food is going to be, like, they're not producing any food here. It's all going to come from the outside. So the question is, can we funnel them enough equipment, enough resources to build this dam and make it useful before the next drought? Probably not. That would be my guess. But, because then what we'll be able to do is set up some water pumps over here, pumping water out of this, and then we could bring that water up here and use it to fill our water coffers or whatever. But yeah, we're actually getting dangerously low on water. So, you know what? I think preemptively, like, I think I want to build a couple of extra water pumps just right now, just to tide us over. So I'm going to build a couple of water pumps, and then we're going to have to carefully manage what jobs our beavers are doing. So let's prioritize these stairs and these water pumps. So the beavers from Cogstown will come down here and build these. And then, yeah, we've got 6 jobs that are not being done. And so we're going to need to make sure that the beavers do the jobs that actually need doing. So, like this is, like, for instance, these farmhouses are actually doing well enough. So I'm going to reduce the beavers working at the farmhouses. Because for right now, they're doing fine. And we've got enough food stored up. Oh, whoops, I didn't take... Did I not? Oh, right, this hasn't been built yet. That's why. Okay, these beavers over here, they're making progress. But, I mean, I've asked them to do a lot. So, my hopes are still fairly low. Is water going to make it into these at some point? I guess these beavers are just so preoccupied with building that they're not actually doing a lot of moving of items from one place to another. It might make sense, honestly, for me to bring more beavers over and, like, give them a hauler post or something so we got beavers that are full-time moving items, but that just sounds like a lot. I mean, these guys are already going with minimal beaver staff. Let's see here. Oh, so Ranithcord actually suggested. Sorry, by the way, sorry, I'm just lagging so far behind the State of Decay hazmat suit debate. Ranithcord suggested that if you made, like, say, a gas mask consumable rather than a hazmat suit, that could actually work a little bit better, because it could just be short-lived. So basically, you have to keep producing them or finding them, and then as you use them, they wear out and you have to replace them. That gives them a cost. Makes it so that players do not want to use them all the time. We could make them a little bit more fair, like last a little bit longer by what am I trying to say? By having them basically only when you're breathing bad gas do they consume whatever it is in them that gets consumed. Okay, so these do not have beavers working here, but I'm going to make them a high priority workspace. So they'll actually pull beavers from other workspaces. Let's make all of our water high priority. Is that all of our water pumps? Is it just the 4? Well, no wonder we're falling behind. So now we're pumping out more water than we were before. These are kind of far away, so it takes longer for their water to get where it needs to go. But yeah, so let's see. The next thing we want to do is let's actually try to build that water storage that I was talking about. So this larger water storage, it costs science to unlock it, and 30 planks in 20 years. So it's expensive, but it holds a lot of water. So do I want to put it here? I could put it on top of something, which would be fun. Make it very, very tall. Like, stick it here. Like, build a little platform for it and stick it here. I kind of like that idea. That's kind of weird. It also means kind of wasting a lot of space around there. I don't love this building. I want to do something with this building because it just looks kind of ramshackle. Yeah, I mean, I guess I like the idea of having this path capable of extending a little bit further, though. So actually, maybe where I want to stick it is right here. So let's put a lot. It's kind of far away from the housing. I could put it down here, but I was also thinking of building more tall housing around this area. So, yep, I'm sticking it in the back. It's just sort of our back water storage, basically. So hopefully, if we can pull out enough water, we'll be able to stay ahead of this problem. In the meantime, oh yay! They have filled up their little water storage here. So okay, they've built their little bridge. They're starting to build the dam, and so far there's no drought. So, average Switch user is saying, he wants to talk about juggernauts now from State of Decay 2. And he says, do we think that jugs are bigger in the lore than what we see in gameplay? It feels like they would be taller and bigger than what we see in gameplay. Would they? I mean, so I think juggernauts are actually one of the more problematic, in terms of just justifying something, like with any kind of sense of, I don't know, scientific reasonableness. The juggernauts are actually among the more problematic characters in State of Decay because it's absurd that a human would be that big. That's just not a thing that humans do. We don't get that big. Even just at the size that they are now. Just even leaving aside the question of, how big they could be, in sort of some fantastical lore. And explaining how they got so big is actually like one of the things that it takes the most, as you're sort of imagining your sort of headcanon of how zombies work. They're actually the hardest to justify because their mass is so huge. You have to kind of imagine that the zombies are doing weird things with mass, with sort of body mass to make that happen. And so, yeah, so honestly, like, I don't imagine, in my mind, the lore does not suggest that the Juggernauts should be bigger than they are. If anything, the Juggernauts are a little too big. but we like having them. We like having a creature that huge, but it just means that there's something more than just like in a lot of zombie stories. The main thing that the zombie plague affects is sort of the brain and sort of the body's systems that keep you ambulatory, right? And that's all stuff that doesn't really change the shape of your body that much. It usually makes you more pallid, it lets you take more damage without falling apart. That sort of thing. There's reasons why it benefits there's big changes, big important changes that are made to human physiology to make someone a zombie, but none of those include making the zombie bigger. And so it's like you kind of need to add something extra to your lore to justify why a zombie could get bigger like that. But I think it kind of works in our game because we also got the plague hearts, we have these big mounds of flesh that the zombies are somehow producing. So it does make sense that somehow they're able to make big, massive mounds of flesh. And if they're capable of doing that, then it feels like they can make a juggernaut, Okay, it does look like our water storage is slowly creeping upwards. Maybe. Let's see how high it gets tonight. Actually, we can look at the numbers here. So we got steadily it's going up and down at the same time, but we're around 400 some. We'll see if that gets higher or lower tonight and then the next night. In the meantime, we do have beavers down here building the dam. I realize I should probably prioritize the parts of the dam that are actually like functional to be a dam. And they will, and then also the things that they need in order to get there. So like these bits and the bits underneath them. That's kind of all they need. So they don't need to be building these other like gray pieces yet. So if we want them to get the actual functional dam done as soon as possible, those are the parts they need to build first. Because so far there's still not a drought. We might actually get this working. Now, whenever we do end up getting this dam working, we're going to move these water pumps. We need different water pumps. Because the water is going to get up like basically to the ceilings of these pumps. So we'll need actually to have pumps stepped back above them, which, I mean, there's nothing stopping me from building those pumps now and just, pausing them. So we can't build it here. Oh, because it's on top of the path. That's right. I do think this is probably the best place to build them, because along this coast they won't have as much potential. I could build them right here, but it just looks nicer to build them here. So I guess I'll wait to build them until we actually flood these ones. Airy Twitch says, did everyone watch The Last of Us last night? So I did not, because I'm waiting to watch it with my wife. She's known that I've been a big fan of The Last of Us for a long time, but she's never actually experienced it herself, so I kind of want to see if that's something she'll be interested in, sort of seeing what the hype is about. So I'm hoping that'll work out. But my wife's out of town right now, so we wouldn't have been able to watch it together. But yeah, I am very interested in watching it. Okay, so it looks like... Okay, so we've cut this area, but the forester doesn't reach there. We do have some unemployed beavers, though. These little kids are starting to age up, so I could stick a forester up here and give ourselves some more foresting capacity. If I do, it might be clever to put him not in a place where we'll be growing trees. And so I'm thinking that place might be here. So, oh wait, hold on, I did this wrong. I kind of want, I don't know, there's something pretty about doing it this way. And then sticking the forester on top. And he doesn't necessarily need to work exclusively in places where we could right now get a lumberjack to. He could just build stuff. He could just plant trees, and then we could use them later if we want to. Well, I guess being able to chop more of these trees here. Uh-oh, here comes the drought. I've got no idea if we're going to be able to prepare for it sufficiently. I'm going to go check on the dam in a sec. Wait, how far does this thing reach? almost pretty much this entire forest. Okay, cool. So let's set this whole thing to be choppable. And now we'll be chopping those trees down. We're doing okay with logs. Planks we're draining, but we've been using a bunch reasonably. I think right now we're also producing more gears. Are we producing more? Oh no, we've already topped out on the gears that we used, so never mind. So this thing is actually, we don't need a worker here because we've already got the max gears that we want. So let's just pause that entire operation. That'll give us more beaver workers. We're still taking our time over here, but we can afford to have 2 more beavers living here. So I'm going to migrate more population. Oh, wait. Oh, looks like these beavers have already had children. You know what? Let's say we want 9 total beavers here. And then I need to make them some more houses. But we'll prioritize the houses after the dam. So we'll have more beavers here. But we're not going to actually build them houses. This is exploitative stuff. I'm not a very good boss. But whatever, it's fine. So we're going to build a little extra house on there. We should also provide ourselves with some entertainment. So let's do a rooftop thing here. Let's do some decor. I guess we could build more housing eventually. I guess we don't need to build it right this second. Let's actually unlock another roof type. Just stick that right there. And let's build a campfire. Right there. But let's prioritize all of this down from the dam. So we're not going to do it yet. As long as we can build the dam, we're going to build the dam. So eventually, the beavers that I just moved over here will have homes. Just not quite. You can see right here, we got some homeless beavers, and we're sad. But it's okay. So we are doing okay with water. I think we are just slightly making a profit on water now. I do not know how fast these beavers can build this dam, though. Because part of it is just producing the logs and planks that it takes. Unconnected building, where? Oh, this one, right. Okay, so they did manage to build that. So they've got a home, but they can't get to it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Coalition says, I remember that Sasquatch explained the lore of the freaks in Lifeline. Well, he didn't explain it. What he did was he lampshaded the questions. So, and by lampshading, what I mean is like, or hanging a lantern on it is another word for this. The idea is, if you've got something in your story that doesn't make a lot of sense, one way that you can... Oh, you know what? I could do a chestnut tree here and gather more chestnuts. I think I'm actually going to do that. Let's grow some chestnut trees. Like that. Anyway, basically, if the people in your story notice that the thing you did doesn't make a lot of sense and talk about it, then even though, basically your lore might be dumb, your story's not dumb because the people also notice that the lore is dumb. But dumb is actually not the right word for that, because this can be perfectly reasonable. Like, for instance, one of the reasons why The Expanse is such a satisfying science fiction show is because there are things that happen in it that, to our knowledge, are physically impossible. You know, the sort of alien force in that story can do things that are not physically possible for us to do. But every single thing that they do that's physically impossible, the characters in the story react to it. They're like, what? They were able to do that? That's impossible. And the characters who are not the aliens have to live with the actual physics that are real for us today. And so that makes the story, even though they're having, you know, they have various reasons why they want. Oh no, we were not able to retain the water. No. The drought has started. Okay, we'll see if we can make it. Yikes. We did start... Oh, it did start backing... Oh, wait, no, it did start backing up a little bit. We got the first layer down. And so it is holding on to a little bit of the water. So we might actually be more okay because we can keep pumping water out down here. Oh, interesting. Okay, anyway. But yeah, it's, you know, like, what was I talking about? I was talking about the expanse. Yeah, so basically, the humans can't do the things the aliens can do, and they still have to live bound by physics the way that the rest of us do in real life. And so because of that... Oh, by the way, I think now that we've got enough beavers, I can bring back all of my farmers again. There were 4. There's the other one. Okay, yeah. So anyway, oh, you know what just occurred to me? I brought extra beavers here. I didn't actually make them builders. That's foolish. So, builder's hut. If you build a builder's hut, then you can assign more beavers to be builders. I kind of want to save this point over here for cool stuff, but nope. Yeah. All right. So I don't know what those noises were that I just made, but okay. So we didn't make the drought. So I'm actually feeling okay about doing that. Because we're not racing the drought anyway. So we'll build a builder's hut. We'll assign more of these local beavers to be builders, which I think means that the rest of this will go up a little faster. And any future major works we want to do over here will grow up a little bit faster. But yeah, so that's why basically it's, you know, even though it kind of, it's the best of both worlds when you lampshade something, because you can sort of do the crazy things you want to do, but you still preserve that sense that you've made something very smart. And so that's what we tried to do in Lifeline. It's like we realized that the insane things we were having our zombies do were just silly. You can't do those. You can't really have a juggernaut. Like that's just not really a thing that you could imagine. Even, you know, I mean, you can't really have zombies, honestly. Like, zombies are silly. You can't actually do zombies the way that they're done in movies. But, you know, people have already kind of accepted that zombie premise, and so you don't worry about the zombie premise too much. But to take it further, it requires even more suspension of disbelief. And so, yeah, so what we do is just lampshade it. We say, okay, yes, we're doing all these insane things, making these big, massive juggernauts, but Sasquatch points out how weird it is. And he's weirded out by the way the Juggernaut behaves. The fact that the Juggernaut is so huge. He's like, that shouldn't be possible. And he talks about it. Because he talks about it, that means that the story is smarter. And so we get away with doing weird things because we acknowledge them. By the way, is this piece right here going to be reachable? Let me deprioritize that one piece and massively prioritize that piece. I'm nervous that it might be difficult for a beaver to get to it. Oh, good. Okay, I think it can do it from up here. That's good. I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. I want to get this dam done, though. I think if we can get it done during the drought and then see it fill up once the drought ends, that'll be a satisfying conclusion. We just need to get there. Oh, I forgot to put a path here. Okay, so now four more beavers fill up those slots, and so now we can build faster. The thing is, we might actually be resource bound here. I'm not sure. Yeah, we're actually resource bound, so probably I can't build any faster because it's the resources that are preventing us from doing this. Okay, so let's see. So average Twitch user says that he would love my commentary on what he said to Hikari Kishi earlier. Are you saying okay, so Hikaru Kishi said, I like the idea of the juggernauts being connected to the plague hearts and evolution of purpose. You mean just like the zombies, the zombie plague, whatever it is, it made the juggernauts for some reason. And then thinking along the same lines, it also made the plague hearts with a similar motivation. And Twitch user says, okay, says the other one. I might have missed what you said. Can you repeat what you said to Hikaru Kishi that you wanted me to comment on? Because I think I've missed it. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay, good. They were able to build that bit that I was worried about. And we still got water down here that we're pumping. Oh! But we need to release some water from the reservoir here. And so we got a little bit of overflow water that comes out here sometimes. I guess not this time. There we go. Did we lose our potatoes? I wasn't paying attention and we lost our potatoes. Great. Our potato crop was sacrificed. That's awesome. Well, I guess while we're at it, I don't know, let's build some more sunflowers. This spot is particularly vulnerable to drought, and so I'm just going to put sunflowers there because they can outlast the drought better than potatoes can. Potatoes are highly vulnerable. In fact, maybe I should consider putting potatoes here and sunflowers here because this place is more vulnerable to drought and this place is more resilient to drought. Okay, yeah, so... Oh, it was just that... Okay, sorry. I think I thought that... Average Twitch user's comment that he wanted me to read, I confused it for another comment and I didn't reread. I thought I was rereading it, and so I was like, oh, never mind. It's obviously not that one. What he said was, in Lifeline, Kelly, Sasquatch, says during the Freak Hunt missions, what makes the freaks, he described it to be, what makes the freaks isn't a mutation. If that was the case, we would only have seen one bloater. Whatever makes these things has a blueprint it follows to make freaks. Oh, yeah, exactly. So that's basically what it's showing is that, Sasquatch is thinking it through a step further than, yeah, there's freaks, whatever, which is kind of what you would do in a lot of these kinds of cases. By the way, we're running low on carrots. We're having a carrot problem right now. Well, if we can get this water source up and running, then I think I've got an idea for how we can solve our carrot problem. But we got to get it. We got to get it to happen first. But anyway, yeah. So he's basically thinking it through one more step because like a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a mutation. Except how do mutations work in real life? In mutations, you have a mutation in one creature because mutations are very random, right? Like something happens in the genes of one creature while it's being conceived or while it's whatever, while the sperm or egg is being produced, something weird happens to it and one of its genes is different from the way it's supposed to be. It's transcribed wrong, whether it's because of radiation or if it's because of some other factor, just random chance. It comes out wrong, but it's got some effect on the creature that is functional. It doesn't just break the creature. It actually makes it able to do something it couldn't do before, do something differently, or grow a little bigger, or be a little smaller, or something like that. And if that gives the creature some advantage, or if it's neutral, and there just isn't a reason to sort of edge it out, then that creature has children and passes it on to its children, and the mutation spreads across the creatures by heredity. But with the blood plague, That can't be the case, right? Because if there's a mutation in a person, like if a person mutates, it's not like they're giving birth to other zombies, right? That doesn't feel right, and you don't see it's like, oh, there's an entire even if you were saying the mutation happens in the plague itself and it starts transforming, zombies into freaks, you'd think that an entire location would be full of nothing but ferals if it's just a mutation, because the local plague would be making nothing but ferals, because it just spread that way and then suddenly it's ferals everywhere. But it doesn't. For some reason, there's this consistent pattern of there being a certain amount of ferals, a certain amount of juggernauts, a certain amount of bloaters, and a certain amount of screamers. And that implies that there's some kind of bigger plan going on, right? That the decision to become a feral or a juggernaut or something can't just be random chance, that it can't be spread like a disease or like a mutation through a population as it progresses through heredity. Like, it has to be something else, because Yeah, it's just hard to imagine what the mechanism of mutation would be if it was spreading by any of the means we normally know. So there must be something else going on. But what is the something else? Sasquatch doesn't know. And we have not canonized an answer to that question. There isn't a particular thing that we've said, this is what's going on. So you can make up whatever you want. But that's what Sasquatch points out, right? And the reasoning I just described doesn't have to be true. There could be other factors I'm not thinking of that could fully justify... That's not the thing I wanted to build. That could fully justify a different explanation that has nothing to do with what I just said. But I like that explanation. So yeah, hey, let's build a forester here too, just because. Whatever, why not? We've got so many extra beavers now. The thing is, I wanted to preemptively get extra beavers so that when I move the beavers over here, they wouldn't disrupt my operations. Hey, looks like we got a dam. We got a whole dam. I don't think there's anything unbuilt here. Oh. I did a bad job of this. I forgot that I intended to put a path there. So I just covered it up. Let's fix that real quick. So this rooftop thing is going to need to have a platform leading to it. Wait a minute. This is going to be so stupidly expensive. I can't even... This is the most expensive, stupid platform ever. I love it. That's not where that goes. Gonna do this, and then this. And then... None of this works. Okay. What we're gonna do... We're gonna really overdo it. We're gonna super duper overdo it. Like that. And then we're going to kill this at some point. Put like a beaver statue there or something. Okay, so now we've got a bunch of beavers over here with nothing to do. And so we're going to need to come up with a purpose for their lives at some point. That is not just sit here and build a dam. In fact, one thing you can do, once you've built the dam you want, you can abandon a district if you want to. But there's other options. Like, for one thing, I could produce food here once the water levels have risen, for instance. Maybe. We'll have to see. Oh, right. So we want to chop down some trees, but I need to mark which trees we want to chop down, which is that button. There we go. We'll chop down those trees, and then once we've chopped down enough of them, we'll say where we're going to replant them with the forester. Oh, crap. Okay, drought's almost over. Our water storage is getting really low. Partly because I keep leaving it like that for a while, and they're not adding any new water. Like, I think as long as I keep the water in this reservoir, we shouldn't be losing water that way. The reason we're losing water that way is because I keep forgetting that this is a problem. Coalition says that apparently Jawafawa is now trying out Project Zomboid. He's like, what have you done? Haha, I did hype Project Zomboid to Jawafawa. And so if he's playing it, I do feel victorious. We're getting so close to the end. But before we see, once the drought ends, before we see this dam fill up, I'm going to probably raise this just to make sure we've got our reservoir up here. Because look at this. Our reservoir is down to almost nothing. If we need to open it, if we need to lower it one more time, can we lower it? Yeah, we can lower it twice more. But we're basically just pulling this from this little tiny pool now. We're not even pulling from this vast size. So it would have very little effect. It would be almost just a completely temporary effect, basically. But we are starting to fill up our stuff again. It looks like the beavers are probably not going to drown. Drown? Are not going to be dehydrated. Drown. These beavers can't drown. Okay. Average Twitch user says that he thinks Jawafawa is going to have a rude awakening about how hard Project Zomboid is going to be. I don't know. That guy plays some hard games. He plays State of Decay at the hardest possible difficulty. Okay, here we go. So we're going to fill this up. So as the water comes down, we're going to first fill up this reservoir, and then we're going to let it spill over. That shouldn't actually take that much time. Yeah, I think if anyone can handle it, Java can handle it. The main problem with Zomboid is like the skills for surviving in Project Zomboid are just fundamentally different in a lot of ways from the skills for surviving in State of Decay 2. And so if you've got really great State of Decay 2 survival skills, no, it's going to be fine. Those don't necessarily translate. You have to sort of learn them all over again. But you totally can. And I mean, Jawafawa, he got really good at Valheim, of all things. And that Valheim's a hard game to be good at. So, whatever, right? Okay, so I think, now that this is going to start filling up, I think we don't need these anymore. I'm going to delete these. I'm going to delete the access to them. What am I doing? Well, I'm going to leave these here, and let's actually prioritize real quick. Let's grab this stuff before it's underwater. So everybody grab the stuff. Grab it, grab it, grab it. The water level's rising. Water level's rising. Look. Oh, the water's going this way. It's going up this way. Oh, look at this. How deep is it going to fill? So basically, it's not going to go higher until it's filled all the way up here. But now it's going to start rising until it gets up to the level of this dam. So yeah, I've got that set at the right spot. So it's going to slowly start rising. Come on. Come on, pick it all up. Pick it all up, boys. Oh no, it's underwater. I don't know if they can get it or not if it's underwater. The water's kind of sloshing back and forth here. Okay, can they get it now? Is anybody going to come get this? Yes, okay, they can still get it. Good. I wasn't sure if they could collect resources underwater. All right, so now that that's rising, how high is it going to go? I think it's going to go as high as this. So that means that we can put new water pumps here, and here, and here. And they're still far away from the base, but that's okay. I've decided that that's fine. And then actually, let's build one more. Because so now that the water is more readily available, I want to really fill my coffers. I want to really get plenty of water. So, and actually now these guys, they can pump their own water now. Theoretically. I need to find, they actually kind of can't. Because pumps can only go down 2 levels. Like if I built a water pump here, it wouldn't get any water because the water's more than 2 levels down. So let's see. Okay, the water is starting to even out. It's still filling even more. Basically, it's going to fill up to about halfway up this. And then it's going to stop because it's going to start pouring out of here. But this is a truly massive reservoir. Basically, these guys, I think during a typical drought, these guys are never going to run out of water because all this water has to flow down to them and run out before it's, before there's a problem. So, but, yeah, so if I want these guys to be able to pump their own water, I have to actually stick their water pump further down. So let's think about that real quick. It's the one problem, like, I think I actually want to end this episode in a minute, but I want to solve their water problem first. So we want to build it basically down 1 level, just like those water pumps. So where do I want to stick that? I'm thinking maybe I want to stick it here? Okay, so if I put a platform here and there, then I can build a water pump here and stairs down to it like that and get this sort of, it's still kind of a small colony. I don't think it needs more than 1 water pump. We can give it its own water pump, and then once we're staffing that water pump, we'll be able to take away the trade route. And similarly, I could start, now that we've got, water all over the place here, we could start farmlands. We could maybe build like a farmhouse over like up here, and then like use this lower area, which is going to be more consistently watered. Use this as farmland, and then cut out our farmland. Basically, trying to get this place self-sufficient, I think, is a noble goal. Oh, another thing that we could do is maybe use this. Like, I like the idea of using this territory for farmland because it's going to be more consistently watered. But up here, we've already got some trees and things up here, and some trees down here that I'm now drowning. We can chop those trees down and then replace them with more trees. So yeah, in order to do that, what we'll want is a bridge over here. So let's build a bridge. Is it 3 spaces? Yes. So we'll build a bridge there. But you can't get to the... Oh, right, I didn't put a path here. Boink. There you go, we got a path. Okay, so now we've got a worker working here. So let's say that this is the lower priority job. So that we'll get extra builders when we need them, but this will be the first thing that empties out to make room for other jobs. And then we can basically try to... So I think, where do I want to put my forester? As usual, I want to avoid wasting a lot of space. So let's actually... What if we put the forester on this side? Let's put my forester here. Yeah, he can reach all the sort of arable land over there. And what if we put a lumberjack on this side too? Will they reach all of the... Yeah, they'll reach all of that usable space. So let's do that. And then let's highlight this whole area as this is choppy down territory. Doop-a-doop, a-doop-a-doop, a-doop-a-doop. There we go. And then we can also make this tree planting territory. I guess for these guys, let's just have it be regular old pines. And of course, we'll have to sort of refresh these pines once we've chopped down all of the sort of dead trees in this area. But we'll start planting pines here. So these guys are going to have their own access to wood, and then I'll also give them their own access to food. But I think we've kind of accomplished our goals for this, haven't we? This has been a long episode, but I really wanted to see this entire thing through. So it looks like, yeah, so we've got the Grand Dam working with its reservoir. We've got a new dam down here that's backing water all the way up here. And we've got new water pumps here, which should be, over time... Oh, I need to flesh this thing out here, too. Let's do some more maples. And then... Yeah, I guess there's no particular purpose in me keeping these pods to get so many extra beavers. So, okay, so next episode, what should we do? So I think making these guys self-sufficient just feels worthwhile. Especially, like getting them producing logs. So if other places run low on logs, they've got them. Sounds really good. So we'll make these guys self-sufficient. And then long term, now we need to think about this place, whether we can set up mines over here. So I think, yeah, we should probably wrap this up. But let me have a look at the chat, because I'm sure I've missed a bunch of stuff here. Hikari Kishi says that he's pretty sure that Joe has actually killed 12 survivors in the past hour. Good luck, Joe. Maybe I'll have to check him out after we're done with this. So Airy Twitch is like, isn't it La Coalición that started this mad rush to Project Zomboid, including me, and I love it? Yeah, so definitely, if I'm sort of patient zero when it comes to Project Zomboid, people suddenly playing a bunch of Project Zomboid, then yeah, La Coalición was Typhoid Mary who gave it to me. So yeah, he does get to have the credit for that. So Average Twitch User says, I know this is going to be a big fat if, but maybe in later installments of the State of Decay franchise, I think it would be cool if we could customize our survivors' outfits a little more. I know we'll be getting new outfits as usual, but I think it would be cool if we could add little patches to clothing, like a logo or something like that. So that's an interesting area. Like, this is one of those areas where the question is, like, how detailed do you want to get? Like, if your game is all about something, then you should do a really detailed, intense version of that thing. But if your game is about a large variety of things, if you let any one thing get too detailed, it can kind of take over and feel unbalanced, feel like it's drawing too much attention to itself from the other things that you're supposed to care about. With like Project Zomboid, every part of that game is incredibly detailed, and so that, like, but that's sort of, it maintains a level. It's not unbalanced that way. In State of Decay, I think if we got down to that level of granular detail in your character's outfits, I think it would actually kind of detract to some degree from your focus on the broader thing. And so I think that, I mean, while I could imagine a future customization system being a little bit more detailed than what we've got in State of Decay 2. That doesn't mean they would get extremely detailed, because we would always be wanting to maintain a balance where no one part of the game is sort of taking over from the other parts of the game. So Orathau says, I'd prefer to be able to just change each piece of clothing, maybe wear different shoes with a different outfit or different pants. Yeah, so that's the kind of level where I can imagine might be easier for us to go. But again, no promises. A lot of these kinds of decisions have just not even been finalized yet. The game is still sort of early enough in its process. So when I tell you, ooh, this would be neat, oh, this is what we'd be thinking of, blah, 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 none of this is promises about features in State of Decay 3. But with that, I think we should wrap this up, because I've been doing this for a while, and I should probably go and accomplish something else. So, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, there is a button. Here's links to other videos. I do plan to come back to Timberborn, and when I do, that's going to be right there. So, enjoy that, and I will see you all later.